let's continue to move west, but we're staying in the same province here.
Bruno's favorite team.
my second favorite team in the NHL behind the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Let me just get something off my chest first.
You start with this one, Bruno, as I like to do with Edmonton. Any topic, Edmonton. Bruno, you go ahead. I'll sit back and I'll be back in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, just go grab a coffee or something. Go to the washroom, whatever you need to do. But Lepore, so this team, they're a good team, okay? I'm not going to sit here and be an idiot and say this team sucks. But, I mean, last year, I still felt was pretty disappointing, honestly, even though they made it to the Western Conference Final. I think Oilers fans overrate this team still. I know they have McDavid and Draisaitl, and they put on an absolute show in the playoffs. Those guys combined for 65 points in the playoffs. Like, who does that? They were putting up numbers that we haven't seen since like Gretzky and Lemieux.
Yeah, you throw in Kane. It was even more crazy. Yeah.
Kane was unbelievable, and I'm on the record as saying that was a great pickup. When they picked him up at the time, I said he was going to tear it up with McDavid and be a point a game player and score a bunch of goals, and he was fantastic in the regular season and the playoffs. So that was amazing that they re-signed Kane. I actually said on one of our previous shows that was the best free agent signing of the entire offseason was Edmonton re-upping Evander Kane, because I think they desperately need a player like that who can provide more offensive punch outside of McDavid and Draisaitl. And I know they have Zach Hyman, who had a good season as well. But this team really didn't make any significant upgrades. And I think the jury is still out as to whether, honestly, they're better than this Flames team. The betting markets think the Flames are a better team. Now, Edmonton has the better players in terms of the high-end players. And now you bring in Jack Campbell, who, listen, we've talked about this as well. I'm a fan of Jack Campbell. I think he's a really good goalie, but I don't really think he's moving the needle for this team. Like, I don't think he's a top, let's say, 8 goalie in the league, where I think a lot of Oilers fans believe that this guy's going to take them over the hump. Now they're a cup contender. Like, if you put their postseason in perspective, they were down 3-2 to the Kings in the first round, almost blew it against arguably the worst playoff team in the whole league. Second round, they played a Flames team that completely lost its identity after game 1. And then they got swept in the conference finals by Colorado. So they're a good team, Lepore. They're going to make the playoffs again. They have 2 of the top 5 players in the world, but I'm still not convinced this team can win a Stanley Cup.
Well, Stanley Cup. I mean, we'll see about that. But I'll take a different spin. I think anytime you have a player like Connor McDavid, you have a right to be excited about a season, simply because there's not many players in the history of the sport who can carry a team, and he can carry a team. Now, do I think he's going to carry them all the way to a cup on his own? Or I should say on his own. I mean, Draisaitl's pretty freaking good too, but people know the point I'm trying to make. Top to bottom, I don't think they're good enough, but I still think I'd be excited if I was an Oilers fan. There was change. Kane committed. Whatever we think of Campbell, if he can get back to his old self, they did better the goaltending. Ken Holland's shown that he's okay to be aggressive, so who knows what'll happen there. And I'm excited as a neutral for Edmonton because, again, Connor McDavid, once-in-a-lifetime player. Leon Draisaitl, Hall of Famer. It's not too often you have 2 guys in their prime playing for you at the same time. So you have to go for it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, you have to. There's no, oh yeah, but draft pick. No. You're going for it. So I'm excited to see what Edmonton can do, because I think some people think the way we do, in the way that this is a really good team, but not a team that can quite get over the finish line. So if management feels that way too, and I kind of expect them to feel that way, I think Edmonton's going to be pretty aggressive, whether it's a move during the season or at the deadline to better their back end or add some offensive depth, or guys who can play in their bottom 6, like make them a grittier team, a tougher team. So Edmonton will be fun. I think Edmonton will be a lot of fun this year. And again, you said they made the conference finals. No team likes to take a step back. And I know it's all bullshit. Like, there's a winner and there's everybody else. But if let's say they go out in the second round, that'll be the take. Oh, Edmonton regressed, which is just bullshit. but they did make it that far last year, and the brass at the top will want to go further. So if I'm an Oilers fan, I am excited for this team.
Yeah, you got to be excited because this team is just so much fun. Offensively, they're going to be so good with all the talent they have. The two things that I'd be most excited to watch this season as an Oilers fan is number one, Jack Campbell, because, whether I'm an Oilers fan or a neutral like us, I really want to see how Jack Campbell performs with this team because he had a lot of ups and downs as a Leaf. I mean, his highs were really high and his lows were really low. I want to see how he handles that in Edmonton. And then also, I want to see the progression of Evan Bouchard on defense, who is probably going to be their power play quarterback this season. We saw him really emerge last season. So if he can take the next step and be a really good defenseman for them, that's going to be huge for Edmonton because you look at that decor, there's still some holes there, man. And you said it, even in their bottom six up front, not great. So do I think they can win a Stanley Cup? No, but they're going to be a really fun team to watch. And Oilers fans, even though you guys think I hate your team, you should still be excited about this upcoming season. All right, I'll admit it.
What's your prediction for Campbell? Do you think he's going to have a good year?
I think Campbell's going to have a fine year. I think
Bruno, that's a cop out.
I think he's honestly, Lepore, I think he's going to have an average season. I don't think he's going to be great because defensively this team is worse than the Leafs. I don't think this team is going to suppress scoring chances and be tighter defensively than the Leafs were. So that has me a little bit concerned for Jack Campbell. So I honestly can see him finishing with a sub 910 save percentage this season. I don't think he's going to be great. Honestly, I don't think it's now people might think I'm nuts and, they're swearing at the screen right now, watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Apple or Spotify. But I don't think that this guy is going to take them over the hump, honestly.
For some reason, there's something in me that thinks that Edmonton is going to come out like a bat out of hell. Like they're going to start winning 10 of their first 12 or something. I don't know why I feel that way. Maybe it's again, the excitement of okay, new goalie, building on last year, a fresh McDavid and a fresh Draisaitl, I should say, or hopefully fresh after those injuries he was suffering in the playoffs. So I got this feeling about Edmonton that they are going to start on fire, and maybe to prove a point too. So I think they know a lot of people feel the way we do. So to prove that point that we are the real deal. So again, add to the excitement.
Yeah, and Edmonton came out of the gate on fire last season before they went into a tailspin, and then obviously rediscovered how good they were and made it to the conference finals. But yeah, they're always an interesting team because there's going to be ups and downs with this team, just like the Leafs. So I'm excited, man.